check it out, Dalton. I got new index cards. They're smaller than the last one, so I'm hoping they'll go farther.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, see if maybe I can hit Darla over in advertising.
You're gonna hurt her. She's already hurt.
She's fine. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the hashtag DJ Preps Football Preview Show for the 8th of November. I'm Brad. That's Dalton. Going to talk football. Yeah, it's the playoffs, Dalton. How about that? 2A, 3A, 4A started last week. 1, 5, and 6 this week.
Everybody's in the playoffs.
Yes, well, not every team, but all the classes are. So what we're going to do, we're going to preview 3 big games. We'll hand out the Bralton Award, and we're going to go over the coverage plans for Friday night. So first, though, we need to go back and look at last week's predictions, Dalton, that you and I made for those 3 games. Last week, we both went 2-1. Sorry, Smithville, we picked against you, and you proved us wrong. We won't make that mistake again. Overall, since Dalton and I retired the coin and started picking, I'm 3-3. Dalton is 4-2.
What can I say? I'm
only a game back, Dalton. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, real quick, here are the 3 games to watch. We've got Pontotoc at Senatobia, South Panola at Starkville, and Water Valley at Booneville. Those are the games we're going to talk about today. So let's start with Pontotoc at Senatobia. No, it didn't go very far, but it's got good hang time. The matchup here, a second round 4A playoff game. Pontotoc 10-2, Senatobia 7-4. 3 keys to the game, Dalton. House is money. See what I did there? Senatobia running back DeAndre House. He's really good. He's got 1,378 yards and 16 touchdowns on the ground. I saw him tear up Corinth last year for like 300-something yards, which he did again this year. He's very fast and elusive, kind of like a water bug. That's kind of the analogy I would use there. So Pontotoc's defense will have its hands full with him. Key number 2, Dalton, this one is huge. Which Pontotoc team is going to show up? Because, I saw them against Itawamba 3 weeks ago. First half, they just looked awful. Second half, they looked great. Totally different team. Won that game. They only beat Caledonia by a point. Caledonia's not that good. They got shut out by Shannon 2 weeks ago, then come back and blow out the team they faced last week, Yazoo City. So, which team do we get, Dalton?
I think it's going to carry over from last week. I think it's going to be a good Pontotoc this week.
I think it will be a good Pontotoc team. Key number 3. Which town's name has the cooler origin story? I did a little research here, Dalton. Pontotoc is Chickasaw for land of hanging grapes. Grapes are delicious. Senatobia comes from the word meaning white sycamore, which is a symbol of rest for the weary. Well, you know what, Dalton? It's the playoffs. There is no rest for the weary this time of year. And again, grapes are delicious. Edge, Pontotoc. Prediction time, Dalton. Who you got?
I got Pontotoc.
Score?
38-35.
I will go with Pontotoc as well. 28-27. That is game number 1. Game number 2, South Panola at Starkville. Oh, tasty 6A matchup, Dalton. First round here. It's the Ricky Woods Bowl. South Panola coach Ricky Woods returns to Starkville. He won a state championship there. But he's back at South Panola where he's won 4 state titles. So 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, the coaching matchup. You got Ricky Woods on one side. You got Chris Jones on the other. Chris won a 3A title at Kemper County a couple of years ago. He took Starkville to the 6A title game last year. Certainly, Ricky has more experience, has been there more often, but Dalton, Chris is as good as they come coaching.
Yeah, these are 2 of probably the best coaches in the whole state. So.
Yeah, and Ricky Woods, he's got them on a 5-game winning streak, so look out for South Panola. But key number 2, Starkville has an array of weapons, Dalton. Just looking at the offense, you got quarterback Luke Altmaier, you got running back Rodriguez Clark, receiver Rufus Harvey, all D1 talented players. And then that's just the offense. The defense, too. I mean, this team is as loaded as anybody. And you wonder how can South Panola match up with that?
I don't think they can.
Control the clock.
Yep, they're going to have to.
I think so. Key number 3, which team's Twitter account has more followers? Again, I did some research. Starkville's has about over 2,200. South Panola's right at 2,000. This is South Panola. I think the premier program in the state. Come on. You just step up your social media game, South Panola. Predictions.
I got Starkville, 35-14. I think South Panola's going to be a little too one-dimensional.
I'll say Starkville, 29-17. Okay. And game number 3, Water Valley at Booneville. Water Valley's 10-2. Booneville 11-0. It's the Blue Devils versus the Blue Devils in Booneville. Second round, 3A playoffs. Dalton. 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, Booneville's quarterback situation. John Daniel Deaton, the starter, got hurt last week on a running play in the third quarter in the win over Aberdeen. So he's out, or most likely out. Last I checked with Coach Mike Maddox, probably not coming back because he's got a back injury, so that's a tough deal for them. But they have options, Dalton. You've got L.J. Shumpert, who came in last week to relieve Deaton. He's the backup, but he's a freshman, didn't throw the ball at all. But they've also got Dallas Gamble, the running back, who played quarterback last year. So I think they'll find a way to get the offense going.
Yeah, they will. The only thing is they only had a week to do it. So.
Well, that's true. But, hey, you got Mike Maddox and that coaching staff that's done an outstanding job this year. Key number 2, Water Valley has a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield. You got Kentarius Rucker and Jacob Truss. They've combined for more than 1,600 yards and 26 touchdowns on the ground. So that'll certainly be a test for the Booneville defense, which did a pretty good job last week against Fred Fields and Aberdeen. And then key number 3, which team has the superior Blue Devil logo? Well, guess what? Water Valley doesn't even have one. They just do the WV, kind of like West Virginia.
That's a shame.
And Booneville's Blue Devil logo is pretty good anyway, so it would be hard to top theirs. Prediction, Dalton?
I think I'm going to go with Water Valley.
Score?
21-20. Water Valley's been tested this year.
See, I was going to. That's what I was going to do. I was going to mix it up, and I was hoping you'd pick Booneville so I could be, contrary. But
I just got to make the same picks as you so I can stay a game ahead.
It's weak. I'm going to go with Water Valley because that's what I think. Again, they come out of a really good division with North Panola. I'll say Water Valley 28-23. Fair enough? Okay. That's it for the 3 games to watch. No, these cards are not any better. Time now for the Bralton Award. Best 1-2 punch from last week. We got Vardaman's Tyrus Armstrong and Patrick Pratt. Armstrong, a quarterback. He threw for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns last week in a win over Hamilton. Pratt, he does pretty much everything, Dalton. 112 yards and 2 scores on the ground, 64 yards and a touchdown receiving, and, oh yes, on defense he made 14 tackles. So congrats to Armstrong and Pratt for winning the Bralton Award. And now, Dalton, speaking of which, Vardaman doesn't have a coach now. Larry Gann is stepping down. So stay tuned. It's the coaching carousel getting cranked up. Here, this is where we're going to be this Friday, guys, okay? South Panola at Starkville. We got Paul Jones down there for us. Pontotoc at Senatobia, John Wise. Tupelo at Northwest Rankin, Brandon Shields, 6A playoff opener for Tupelo. Water Valley at Booneville, David Wheeler. North Pontotoc at North Panola, Dalton. And I will be at Charleston, Belmont. So there you go. That is it for this edition of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show, coming to you every Thursday. Also, be sure to check out our podcast, Prep Rally, every Wednesday. You can find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or at preprally.djournal.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps, at dlmiddleton8, at Brad Block, and that's it. So we'll be back next week. Let's see if I can hit Darla this time.
She went behind us. She's not even over there.
Dadgummit.